my management style has changed since I've worked at Kaiser from the beginning until now. And I really think about it in terms of sports, essentially. Being a leader or manager in a business is very similar to being a coach for a sporting team. Typically, on a sports team, a really good sports team, you're going to have really good players and superstars. But all those good teams that win a lot of games and championships also have a good coach too. So it takes both, right? It takes a good manager or coach to kind of lead that team and help guide that team on a coaching side of things, and how they interact with their team to try to accomplish the goals that are set out. As they're calling the plays, right? They're planning ahead. They're evaluating film or evaluating what they're seeing from kind of a bird's eye view of the game and trying to help put their players in the right positions. Whereas, like in a production type in work environment, the leader or manager has a production schedule and is scheduling that out and seeing how the each day is going to work together to make that whole week schedule work out and meet customer deadlines and things. And then I think between coaching and being a manager, there's a sense of responsibility there when for like a coach that, like, if a team loses, you could look at individual player performances and say, well, so and so didn't shoot the ball well this game, or so and so didn't throw the ball very well in this game, and that's why we lost or whatever. But a lot of the time, when a team loses, it kind of falls back on the coach's shoulders, or the coach takes responsibility and says something to the fact that, you know, yeah, so and so may have had a bad game, but I know better, or I needed to compensate, or I should have talked to them and helped guide them back on track. And usually the coach takes responsibility and kind of takes the weight of the loss on their shoulders. And that's something that I don't see happen probably enough in managers, and I definitely didn't used to do it well, but I feel like I make a conscious effort to try to kind of take that pressure now. I think it was a quote from Gary V, or just he was talking about something, and he was saying that as a manager or leader or owner of a business, or wherever you're at kind of in the hierarchy or level in your company, if you have anybody that works on a team below you that reports to you, your job is to stop the pressure at your level and not let it trickle down past you. You need to take that weight and that burden and not push it down on the team. You need to hold that and allow them to work how they want to work. I feel like it's my job to put a plan in place, but then kind of just to look at production from a bird's eye view on a daily basis, and just guide and just kind of see what's happening throughout the day. Not be over there constantly, but check just to see, like, how are things going, what's come up. Things are going to happen, mistakes are going to happen, things aren't going to go the way I thought that they would, and we need to make adjustments. And so, as a leader, or from a coaching point of view, it's my job to kind of take that in, while everybody, the players, our technicians, our team members, are very focused on what they're doing. They're just trying to do the best they can, and whatever's in front of them, they're trying to get it done. I need to kind of take that bird's eye view and just say, all right, we got to readjust. We need to move you over here and move this ahead, and just kind of guide so that that full production day goes well. And it's important, I think, for a leader to be interactive, be available, and be able to get your eyes on what's happening throughout the day. If you're in a production oriented environment where, like, every second matters, it feels like you can't expect to just say something once or lay something out and that it's just going to happen exactly how you thought it would. Things change, things adjust. That's why the coaches at a game and with the players, they don't just come up with a game plan and then they're just like, yeah, I'm not going to the game, I'll watch it on TV. It doesn't work like that. You got to make adjustments throughout the game. As a leader, I got to make adjustments throughout the day for the production schedule. And then obviously coaches are typically, or coordinators are calling the plays, right? And then the really good players are executing those plays. But it takes both of those things. It takes someone looking from a bird's eye view, seeing what's happening from outside of the action, And then it takes the player and the superstars in the game to make amazing things happen. Take a good play call and make it the best play call you've ever seen because they execute and use talent in such a way that it makes the play work way better than it ever should have, essentially. So I kind of equate that to scheduling production out day by day, week by week, trying to make sure that we're going to keep all of our customers happy and meet all their deadlines and put it together in a way that's very efficient for us. It makes it easier to go through our tasks throughout the day and it flows well. There's always something for somebody to do, and we're not going to have bottlenecks or hiccups. I'm kind of planning ahead. And if I can come up with a good enough schedule that works and flows together well, then our team members and technicians can have really, really good days and use their talent to knock it out of the park and really excel and blow through the production schedule and get way farther than I thought. If the sprayer is really on it and has no rework throughout the day, it just flows through the shop really well. And if I don't plan and schedule ahead and it's kind of stop and start and like bottleneck and we don't have space for this and there's not room for this over here, that's a problem on my end. That's stopping them. That's making hiccups for them. The stopping the pressure thing is something that I really think about almost every day now, and it's not something that I thought about much in the past. And so, obviously, from a coaching standpoint or a leadership standpoint, if you're someone that's responsible for the whole thing and you're the one who has to answer the hard questions, and people are coming to you with complaints and concerns, meaning like customers, obviously, there's a lot of stress and pressure that goes along with that. And if product gets sent out the door that isn't good quality, customers are going to call and complain about that. They should. Customers are going to call and ask when parts are going to be done and say, well, our customer moved up their due date. We need you to expedite these and we need them done on this day. It's my job as a leader to take all that pressure and utilize my schedule and plan ahead, knowing that things aren't going to go perfect, knowing some things are going to go wrong, knowing that there's going to be some frustrations that come up. It's my job to not allow that pressure to trickle down past me and stress the team out. I used to let it go right to them. I used to be very transparent with like, this is what the customer wants. If we don't meet what they want, they're going to be really upset and they'll probably take their business somewhere else. It's putting stress on the team that they don't even need. That makes it really hard for them to play loose, like you would say in sports. Then they're really scared to make a mistake, so they can't even do what they normally do. Then you're probably going to have rework if that's what you're thinking about. So I used to try to give the whole picture because I was trying to convey the seriousness of the situation, right? But I've learned that that creates so much stress and pressure that way, way more mistakes happen. And people make decisions and do things differently than they normally ever would because they're trying to be the superhero of the day, or they're trying not to make a mistake. I don't know if Gary Vee was the one who came up with it, but that's who I heard say it about stopping the pressure at your level. I've been really using that a lot in the past 6 months and really thinking about it on a day-to-day basis here recently because it works a lot better to just take all of that stress and that's my responsibility. I utilize that stress and pressure to kind of set some guidelines and goals and responsibilities for the team. They're different than mine. There are pressures that they have on a day-to-day basis, but it's different. It's my responsibility to keep the customer happy. It's their responsibility to just do what they do best and put out a good quality product. That's all that they need to do. They don't need to do anything different if we're super, super busy. Just do what they normally do as good as they can do it. We need to produce. If a mistake happens or something goes wrong with production, our team cares enough that they're disappointed. They're upset. If I'm over there trying to solve the problem, they're coming to me like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't see that ahead of time. I should have. In the past, when they felt the pressure of the situation, they were really upset with themselves, and it really affected the rest of their day. Now they're disappointed, and they know that I'm probably not the happiest camper, that we might have to rework an order or something, but they're able to kind of just be disappointed and upset for a couple minutes, and then they can put it behind them, and they can continue on and have a really good rest of the day instead of it looming over them and continuing to drag them down. We have a couple guys that have been there for a while, and it's kind of their job to take my production schedule that I make and just kind of make sure that that gets executed. Essentially, that we actually follow down the schedule and we try to hit um, production goals for that day. So my next goal and is to try to help take this kind of stop the pressure at your level mentality and help them kind of implement that because they they have a different set of pressures than actually doing the particular work. They're helping it. They're helping that work throughout the day, but they're really trying to guide everybody to make sure we meet a schedule. And every day something's going to go a little bit wonky that's going to mess that schedule up. It's just going to happen. And if you let those pressures and stresses get down to the guys that are actually spraying the powder, actually washing, actually hanging and packing all day long, they get in a hurry because they know that we're behind, and then you just it's a human nature. You're gonna make more mistakes. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to help our floor managers take that stress and pressure of that we're trying to meet a production schedule and like just take that on themselves and be stressed and be frustrated that we might have to rework something and just try to come up with the best plan for the rest of the day to try to salvage as much as we can without getting everybody all riled up and upset because it just goes south from there if we get really frustrated and really angry, really upset, and show it and make comments that dig a little too deep. For one, it makes everybody mad at each other and not get along for several days. But it also, when people really are trying and want to do a good job, it just makes everybody feel bad and it just upsets them. It's really hard to focus for the rest of the day when you feel like that you really let somebody down and that somebody that you like working with and you work alongside every day is really upset and really frustrated with you. That's all you think about the rest of the day. So it's natural that you're probably going to make even more mistakes, and then it just spirals down from there. It's our job as leaders to kind of not necessarily shield in or hide all of that, but it's our job to take the pressure of that and take that weight on our shoulders, and then come up with a plan to try to accomplish the goals that the customers have laid out for us, essentially.